Hey everybody, today we're going to dive into IRA investing, how much you can contribute to your accounts in 2023, and all you need to know about eligibility and things like that, all this fun stuff, because IRA investing can be a great way to build wealth over the long term and set yourself up for financial freedom in retirement. Before we dive in, click subscribe to my channel and please check out a message from our sponsor, The Motley Fool, where you can get the top 10 stocks to buy right now. So in 2023, the easy answer is that Americans are allowed to contribute as much as $6,500 to their IRAs. If you're 50 or older, there is a catch-up contribution allowed that adds $1,000 to that, so that makes your limit $7,500. That limit is for 2023, and it is a per-person limit, not per account. So, for example, if you have a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, which we'll get into those in just a minute, you can contribute that much to those accounts combined, not to each one. So, can you contribute to an IRA in 2023? The good news is the short answer is yes. Everybody is allowed to contribute to a traditional IRA. However, the ability to take the tax deduction for your contributions, which is pretty much the reason that people save in a traditional IRA, can be restricted for certain high-income individuals. Roth IRA contributions are income restricted for everybody. IRA accounts are designed to help middle-class Americans save for retirement. They're not designed for a way for wealthy people to avoid taxes, which is why those Roth contribution limits apply to everybody. So if you want to open a traditional IRA, or if you already have one, so if you have a retirement plan at work, that's the key question. If you have an employer's retirement plan, the traditional IRA deduction is restricted by income. If you don't, it can only be restricted if your spouse has a retirement plan at work. If you're not married, or if you're married and neither one of you has an employer-sponsored retirement plan, there is no traditional IRA income limit. So if you are covered by a retirement plan at work, here's what you need to know. The income limit to make a full contribution is $73,000 if you're single or a head of household filer, or $116,000 if you are married and file a joint tax return. There are phase-out limits of $83,000 for single and $136,000 for married. So above that limit, you can't contribute at all if you have a retirement plan at work. If your income falls in the middle of the range, say you're single and make $75,000, even if you have a retirement plan at work, you can still make a partial contribution to a traditional IRA. And notice that last line, and this will come up over and over in this slideshow. If you file as married filing separately and you live with your spouse, if you're separated, it's different. But if you live with your spouse and use the married filing separately status, you can't make a full traditional IRA contribution and deduct it. And the ability to contribute at all phases out if you have more than $10,000 in income. So if you are an IRA investor, that should definitely come into play when you decide what to file as. So if only your spouse has a retirement plan, but you don't, the income limits are much higher. If you file jointly, which is pretty much the only way you'll be able to contribute, you can make a full traditional IRA contribution and deduct it if your income is less than if combined income is less than $218,000, and that phases out above $228,000. Again, really unfavorable for the married filing separately status. For Roth IRAs, and remember, these are the income limits to contribute that apply to everybody. It doesn't matter if you have a retirement plan at work or not. If you're single, the income limit for a full Roth IRA contribution is $138,000. It phases out entirely above $153,000 in income. And these are modified adjusted gross income, MAGI, totals, by the way. If you file under married filing jointly, the income limit for a full Roth IRA contribution is $218,000 for 2023, phases out over $228,000. And again, married filing separately, you cannot make a full Roth IRA contribution, and it phases out entirely over just $10,000 of income. So another important point to know is that the IRA contribution deadline is the same as the tax day. So this means you don't have to make your 2023 contributions until April 15th of next year, 2024. gives you a lot of time to get that money. And if it sounds like a lot of financial strain to get $6,500 stuffed into an IRA, you don't have to necessarily do it in the 2023 calendar year. You can kind of take your time as long as your contributions are in by the tax deadline in 2024. And on the other hand, if you haven't made 2022 IRA contributions or haven't maxed them out yet, you can still take advantage. The 2022 limit was $6,000. And this is actually one of the very few ways you can still reduce your tax liability for 2022, even though the calendar year is over. If you get your traditional IRA contributions in by the tax deadline and you meet those income restrictions I talked about, you could still qualify for a deduction. Hopefully you found this video informative. Please leave me any questions or comments, and I will do my best to answer each one of them. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to click subscribe if you don't subscribe to my channel already. And as always, this video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. Be sure to visit www.fool.com/Frankel to receive the top 10 best stocks to buy now.